Alright, let's talk about Marvel Comics. Marvel 2-in-1 presents The Thing and the Guardians of the Galaxy. This was released probably around 1974. This is the 5th issue in the Thing-centric comic Marvel 2-in-1, where Thing teams up with other characters from the Marvel Universe, whoever they want to promote that month. And, I mean, The Thing, of course, was in Fantastic Four. This was his own comic magazine. The character was very, very popular and had a lot of personality as well. In this issue, he teams up with the real Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going to talk more about that. This is the Guardians of the Galaxy that I know, and not the weird version that was introduced in the 2000s, which was then promoted into the movies. And of course, the movies is what people know of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And here, Thing issues his famous "It's clobbering time," like mantra here. Here's all of this and Captain America too. So Captain America is with him as well. This, of course, continues from the last issue. Stan Lee presents The Thing and Captain America and the Guardians of the Galaxy together. Steve Gerber is the writer. Sal Buscema is the artist. Mike Esposito is inker. 7 Against the Empire. The Planet Earth. 3014 AD. So the Guardians of the Galaxy in this version in the Marvel Universe was originally introduced as characters in the year like 3000. And they fought these guys called the Badoon. And they come from different planets that Earth has colonized. And Earth colonized them with sort of enhancements to humanity to withstand the various different environments. So what the Guardians are basically, they are different from each one's from a different planet. Basically, they're a ripoff of the DC Comics Legion of Superheroes. It's the same kind of thing where they're in the future. Each one comes from a different planet. They're sort of mutated or like human, but like extra. Like each planet is inhabited by humans with superpowers of some sort. In this issue, Captain America goes into the future with the Thing from the last issue, also with Sharon Carter, Agent 13, and they fight these ugly guys, the Badoon. They heard about the big rebellion against them, how the Badoon tried to take over the Earth, and also the Guardians of the Galaxy were inspired by Captain America 1,000 years ago. And so that's why Cap wanted to go into the future, because he's like, well, I gotta help these guys. So here they recap what happened. This character here, this woman, becomes president of the Earth later on. But yeah, back in the day, comics would recap what happened in a page or two. And here, like, Thing is fighting all these guys. There are these guys called the Zoms, who are basically zombies. And Thing fought a big ugly monster, the creature of the Badoon, or the monster of the Badoon, and he got nailed by this monster and they all got captured. And Thing calls these the Badoon baboons. He always calls them that. So I guess he's dead naming them, I don't know. So here Thing tries to rematch with this monster. I love the design of these creatures. They're very, Bronze Age, even Silver Age type monsters. They got this funky clothing. And Cap and Sharon are holding their own, and Thing punches like a bunch of guys at once. And the siren goes off, and Thing, Sharon, and Cap are on the run. And Thing picks up a car, and Cap is like, oh, I can't drive a car, but he's like, I didn't say anything about driving, and he throws the car at all these Badoon. Sharon shoots the crap out of a bunch of Badoon. That's pretty cool. And Cap does his thing. Cap lunges right at guys, just like the old Jack Kirby days, and beats the crap out of everyone with his shield. So they're on the run in the future. They have 24 hours to figure things out, see if they can help in any way defeat the Badoon. And if they miss those 24 hours, they miss that window to get back to the present day with Doctor Doom's time machine that Reed Richards is operating. So this is Taryn, the woman with the big tiara in the middle here. She becomes the president of the Earth later on in Marvel Comics. Here she's convincing the rebellion that these guys have come from the past, including Captain America, which everyone knows to be a legend in this time. They don't believe her, and then this guy comes and says, "No, it's true." And so they beg her forgiveness, and they say, "Let's get the Guardians of the Galaxy." So here they are, the real Guardians of the Galaxy. Their first appearance was in the 60s, and they never really had a comic of their own until the 90s. But they did guest appear in a bunch of stuff. So the guy in blue and white to the left is Major Vance Astro. He was an Earthman from the present, and he was stranded in space and then given a foil costume to contain his old self. If that costume is pierced and his body is exposed to fresh air, then he withers away and dies. There's Charlie 27. He's from Jupiter, and he's like super strong. There's the real Yondu to the right. He's native of Earth colonized Centauri 4, and last race of what they call barbarians, master of weaponry. So he can control his arrow with a whistle, but not as dramatically, and like he can't just like have the arrow just fly around like it does in the movies. And this is Martinex, who looks like Iceman, I guess, but he's made of crystal. And he can control light waves, etc., and he's from Pluto. So these are the real Guardians of the Galaxy. Here they are. Not Talking Raccoon and all that stuff. This is what I like. I know that Martinex was in the movies as a sort of like guest sort of cameo shot. Yondu, of course, is completely reimagined for the films. So they see on their viewer that Cap is fighting guys, so they're like, we gotta go. And Vance Astro loves Captain America because he's from the time when he grew up with Captain America stories, and because he's 1,000 years old. So they're like, who's with me? We're all gonna go. So they go. I should say that their ship number 1 looks like the Enterprise. And the ships in Legion of Superheroes kind of look like the Enterprise in the beginning as well. And 2, they named it after Captain America, so they have to go fight beside Cap. And so Thing is getting tired. He's fighting all these Badoon, but he's still gonna fight on. And then Cap throws his shield, and they're fighting on. They're fighting the Badoon occupation of Earth. And then one Badoon gets stabbed in the back, and it turns out to be an arrow. And of course, it's Yondu's arrow, and here comes the Guardians of the Galaxy. Thing doesn't know what the heck's going on, but they're fighting them, and Cap is impressed. Ben, did you see that? He froze that blaster, made it so brittle it shattered when its trigger was pulled. Incredible. Sorry, talking about Martinex. I love Cap, like geeking out with the Guardians of the Galaxy because they geek out about him, because they basically you see the star on Charlie 27's head. That is their symbol. That's the Guardians of the Galaxy symbol, and it's based on Captain America, and they named their ship Captain America. So here comes Thing whapping 2 guys, just picking them up and just like smacking them against each other. And then Vance Astro is like, and that being the case, I think we can afford the luxury of a friendly greeting at least. I'm Major Vance Astro, Cap. My comrades and I are known as, and then Cap's like, the Guardians of the Galaxy. You must be. We've looked forward to this meeting since we arrived. So he's like, I was born in 1962. And then Ben Grimm's like, what? You gotta be like 1,000 years old. Tells his big origin about how he was stranded in space. And a man called Harkov came along with new theory of physics that made faster than light space travel a reality. So when he gets to his destination, humanity's there. And he's still alive because he's preserved by this costume. If the costume, of course, is pierced, then he dies. Here's Terran and the rebellion here. And so now Cap and everyone are going to go and fight the Badoon on one last push. And Ben says his famous, "It's clobbering time," of course, with big lettering and everything. All Cap can say is, "Let's go." They wanted to plan out their attack. Ben is just going to go at it. And Cap is like, "Well, I guess we're fighting." So they all fight the Badoon. They fight the giant monster. Thing has another rematch with this Thing. Charlie 27 and Thing team up to fight the monster. And there's captions here that talk about how, like, war is hell. There's deaths on both sides. But, the humans are fighting for Earth. Like, and they're going for broke. And you see Yondu pierce a dude here. Alright, so they got the leader here. And he's like, you've seized one city. He's like, we control the whole planet, right? And Ben gets mad. And he's like, what does it take to show you we mean business, Drang? We know we got a long, hard fight ahead. But your baboon brotherhood is... Yeah, he still calls them baboons. Cap, Thing, and Sharon Carter go along their way back to the present day. They think that the rebellion's off to a good start. And Van Astro is like, say hello to the old days for me, guys. So that's it for this issue. And the next issue is going to be Doctor Strange. So if you like this video, please give a like. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Lots of great comic book stuff on here. I hope you enjoyed going through this with me. Until next time, take care.